Have you ever been sound asleep in your bed and suddenly you wake up? Your eyes are scanning the room and you're just thinking everything seems normal, when suddenly you feel this tightness on your chest as if someone's pressing down on it. You don't know what's going on, so you try and stand up and you can't move whatsoever. Your body's completely still no matter how hard you try and move it. You then look across the room and notice a figure standing at the edge of your bed. There's a black figure standing at the foot of your bed, and you freak out and try to yell, and nothing comes out. The figure starts to loom closer to you, and you're panicking at this point. You can't move or say a word. You're just motionless, and this thing is coming towards you. You finally try and scream one last time, and your body finally jolts up, and you let out this little whimper of a scream, and now you're actually awake. You can move, you can speak, but the figure's gone. You are relieved and confused and terrified all at once. Has that ever happened to you or something similar? Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, people. It wasn't a paranormal experience. You did not see a ghost or a demon. In fact, you've experienced something almost 50% of the country has. It's called sleep paralysis. When I was younger, I was always into the paranormal. I always watched shows about ghosts and aliens and anything of the sort. It was very interesting to me. I didn't know if I believed it or not, but I loved the topic. I loved watching it, loved reading about it. It captured my imagination, I guess. Even in my late 20s and being an atheist, I still enjoyed those types of shows, even though I didn't believe in the paranormal at that point. But being so into that type of stuff, I noticed something, a pattern. Have you ever noticed how so many paranormal experiences happen while people are lying in bed? I found that to be a big coincidence. And whenever you hear about alien abduction, it was always with people that were lying in bed and the aliens came in through their window and took them away. You rarely ever hear stories about people being abducted in the middle of the street by a UFO. It's always aliens came to their room while they were sleeping. Then when I learned about sleep paralysis, I was like, holy shit, this lines up perfectly with what I thought. What is sleep paralysis exactly? Sleep paralysis is a feeling of being conscious but unable to move. It occurs when a person passes between stages of wakefulness and sleep. During these transitions, you may be unable to move or speak for a few seconds up to a few minutes. Some people may also feel pressure or a sense of choking. Sleep paralysis usually occurs at one of two times. If it occurs while you are falling asleep, it's called hypnagogic or predormital sleep paralysis. If it happens as you are waking up, it's called hypnopompic or postdormital sleep paralysis. So there are endless accounts of people who have had sleep paralysis who know of it as sleep paralysis and don't think it's ghosts or aliens in their room while they're sleeping. And they speak of how they wake up, can't move, can't speak, and there's shadowy figures in their room. Some of them even talk to them, and there's nothing they can do. They can't move or speak or anything, and they're terrified. And a lot of scientists believe that many people who think they see ghosts while they're sleeping or alien abduction cases are all due to sleep paralysis. So I just find it extremely funny that so many people believe in the paranormal and ghosts and stuff like that, and they've experienced these same exact things and don't even realize it's something that's totally scientifically explicable. And honestly, I could understand their fear and thoughts because it is a terrifying experience if you've ever had it. Just imagine sitting there not being able to move or speak and seeing some shadowy figure walk towards you in your room. And you can't do a thing. You're trying to scream and nothing happens. You're trying to get up, nothing. You can't move a muscle. I've experienced it myself. I've experienced it 2 times. The first time, I just couldn't move or speak for about 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden, I was able to move. Nothing freaky happened. It was just weird. I was sitting there like, what the hell was that? But I had heard about sleep paralysis before this, so I just, assumed it was that. I was like, okay, I had a little episode of sleep paralysis. But there was this other time, more recent, probably about 3 years ago, I had a really crazy, vivid experience with it. I'm basically lying in bed and I open my eyes, I'm looking at the door which is in front of the bed, and there's someone about 4 feet tall, all black, couldn't see a face or nothing, just standing there. And I'm thinking to myself, holy fucking shit, what the fuck is this? So I try and get up and I can't move, and I feel panic starting to set in. So I go, hey, but what comes out is this. Nothing, just breath. And I try again. I scream, hey, but all I hear is and I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. What the fuck is going on? So finally, I scream again, and I'm like, hey! But what happens is, my body finally moves, and I turn and wake up, and I hear myself saying, hey, but it's not too strong. It's very faint. It's like, hey! Something like that, very low, but it finally came out. It felt like it took so much effort to get out so little when I finally woke up. And I sat there and I look up, and obviously there's nothing there, and I'm like, holy shit, that was crazy. I just had sleep paralysis and I saw a fucking shadow figure. And I'm like, yeah, obviously it wasn't real. I'm not thinking it was some sort of specter or anything. I wasn't thinking it was the shadow people. But there you go, shadow people. It's just something made up by your mind while you're having sleep paralysis. It's not real. These shadow people don't exist, and ghosts don't exist. So for anyone out there who thinks they've had a paranormal experience, try and look at it more objectively and think to yourself, did I really see a demon, or is there a scientific explanation for it? That being sleep paralysis. Now, quickly before I go, the reason you actually go through this sleep paralysis is you start off in non-REM sleep, your body is relaxing and restoring itself, and then you shift into REM sleep. During REM sleep, your muscle function is shut down. Basically, what happens is you become aware and awake while your REM state is still going on. And you basically have reality and your dream world blending together. So that's the reason why you can't move or speak, is because during REM, your muscles shut down, so you're unable to move. So you're basically supposed to wake up during non-REM sleep, but you've woken up during it. Anyway guys, I know this isn't my typical video, but I wanted to talk about it because it was just something that popped in my head recently, the memory of that experience I had with sleep paralysis. So I figured I'd share it and give my thoughts on the whole thing a little bit. Anyway guys, have a good night, if you can.